Welcome to Blackberry Ridge. It is another beautiful day here in Northeast Tennessee. We're going to be working today on continuing the process of what we were doing with our apples. In the previous video, which I will link it up here, I'm learning how to do this stuff, so I'll link it up here, is we are going to take what we have left from making our apples, our canned apples yesterday. We ran out of daylight. So we had to come to a stopping point, and we have peeled our apples. We put our peels in my beautiful Wampy pan here that I just love because of the size of it. So we have our apples that are sitting here, our apple peels. They have been sitting, and some of our cores. So there's a core here. And the apples. And so what we're going to do is we've had this sitting now in Fruit Fresh. I took the Fruit Fresh that I had the apples sitting in yesterday, and I also poured that into this container. So there again, just spreading everything as thin as we can. On top of this, just to keep the peels underneath the water as much as possible, I took a couple of my cannon plates. These go into the bottom of my pans for when I'm either pressure cooking or water bath canning. Let's set these aside. And here we have the peels, okay? We also have left over the syrup and some of the pulp. The syrup and some of the pulp from where we were working with our apples yesterday. So we're going to go ahead and use that too. This one here has a whole lot more pulp in it. Okay, rule of thumb is that for about every quart of apples, apple peels, that type of thing that you have, you need to have about a cup of fluid. So here I've got, let's see, about 6.5 cups of fluid here. And I know I don't have that much in the way of the apple peels here. We're going to do this the old-timey way, where we're not going to use pectin. So this would be in bad times if you didn't have pectin, what you could use. And it also uses up every little smidgen of our apples. So I go for about every one of these colander dippers that I have. I kind of pile it up. Okay. And for about every one of these dippers that I'm going to put into our pot, we will put in a cup of our fluid over here. So here now we've got 2. This colander thing here is about a quart. 3. So I'm going to call this 4. Like I said, and there's a lot of the cores. Now, the other thing that I did on my apples, though, is that if there was a bad spot or a bug bite, I actually cut that out and threw it over to the animals. And as I said in the video yesterday, that was not a good idea. I mean, they were knocking each other, trying to get those little pieces. It was not good. Okay, so we got this. Now what I want to do is we had 4. So this quart here is 4 cups. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour this quart of what we had left from yesterday in here. Let me get this out of the way. This is heavy. Now I'm going to go ahead. I just put this on the floor. I'm going to go ahead and take that out, and I'm going to put it down for the animals, because they'll drink out of it, and they'll like the little bit of juice that's in there, and they'll be able to also get some of the minerals that are there. We're going to put a fire under a pot. Okay, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to bring our pot here to a boil, and we're going to let it cook for about 20 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get some laundry started, get my apron on, and get things going here. Like I say, people, it's probably about 6:30, quarter till 7. I can't see the clock. About 6:30, quarter till 7 in the morning. So let's go ahead and get things going. Be right back. See if I can get you inside the pot here without getting you too steamed up. The apple peels are already starting to release some of their own fluid. Cook down some. Making a beautiful juice. All right. Isn't that something, making food from nothing? I love it. I was pulling out some of my half-pint jars to get over into the water bath canner to get hot. And every time I pull out some of these jars, this is an old Atlas mason jar. It's a jar that I inherited. There was a lady by the name of Vernie Reiner, and her husband's name was Ken. And when I was 45 years old, she adopted me. She said, "Girl, you're a mess." And she was so good to me. She passed away several years ago. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of her and that I don't miss her. But especially on days like this, when I pull out one of the jars that she left to me. So this was actually an inheritance. The water bath canner that I'm using right now, I got from her daughter, Cindy. Made sure that I got some of these pieces. She called me when she was cleaning out the house and settling the estate. And she said, "Mama wanted to make sure that you had these jars and these canning things." So, yeah, it's remarkable how little things like this can just bring such a smile to our lips and joy to our heart and just help us to get by through another day. Love you, Vernie. Okay, now let's go on to the next step. We have over here in our pot, we have our peelings and our cores that we've taken from our apples. And they have had the water added to them. And we have gone ahead and we have put them on the fire, and they have been simmering at least 20 minutes. Now it says 20 minutes, but you can do it for a little bit longer. You want the peels to be very mushy. And what we're doing also is we're not only pulling out the juice out of these peels and cores, but the peels have a natural pectin in them. So that's why we're not going to be using pectin today. We're doing our jelly the old-timey way, where before they could go to the store and they could get pectin, they would actually use in all their jellies and jams, they would actually put their apple peels in that to make it to where it would thicken, which is what pectin does. So we're going to go ahead and pull the lid off of this. I'm going to leave the lid on just one second. Let me talk about this. And this pot here, now we're going to have to strain this to get our juice. There again, we're doing this the old-timey way. There are some people who have juicers that are steamers. I've never used one. I don't know if it pulls the pectin out or not. But I'm doing this the old-timey way. So, and so what I have here is I have a clean Very, very clean white pillowcase. And I got my pot here. And I'm going to take and I'm going to line this pot with this pillowcase. No brain surgery there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and cut the fire off of our apples. Take the lid off. Let's see if I can get this to where you all can see it. Oops, going down on the counter. Can you see that it's like a mushy? You know, whenever I do something, I have got to feed the counter or the stove or something at least once. So that's my once. Okay. And then I'm going to get my spatula. And I want to get out all the goodness. Everything that's been given to us. After this cools, after it's strained and it's cooled, I'm going to give the peels and stuff to the animals. Okay. So. Now you don't want to squeeze this, because if you squeeze it, your juice will get cloudy. Can you see the juice coming out? Okay. I'm going to tie this up. And I do with when I'm making cheese, I do this the same way. So I got this tied up. And then we're going to go and we're going to suspend this. So I got a towel underneath here also. I'm trying to move everything all in one thing. I'm trying to move things so what you can see. And then I'm going to put this over here so that the pot is going to drain. And when I get this all set up, I will be right back to show you the juice that we're going to be getting. Now, this is going to take a little while for this to drain, so y'all just be patient. We'll be back. Okay, welcome back. Okay, now right now we are in the Ball Blue Book, Guide to Preserving. The part where it talks about how to prepare the juice for jelly is here. And the part where it's talking about the apple jelly is here. Okay, and we are on page 56, Ball Blue Book. Okay, so it says for every 4 cups of juice, we are to add 3 cups of sugar. So it's a 4-to-3 ratio. We've got 6 cups of juice here. So I'm going to add, right now I'm going to add about 4 cups of sugar because we already had sugar in the juice that we started with. Because we were using it from what we had yesterday. So I'm going to put it on the stove. We're going to take our 4 cups, our 6 cups. Now I probably could have left this set and drained a little bit more in the bag. Maybe got another half a cup out, but I'm satisfied with this. Okay, hold on while I get 4 cups of sugar. 4 cups of sugar. We're going to put that in the pot. And we are going to bring this to a boil. I'm also going to add a little bit of lemon juice to this. Not much, because we already put a little bit of lemon juice in it yesterday. And what I like about these old-timey apples is I didn't get a clear juice. It was more of a pink coloring. And I think that that's just really pretty. Each kind of apple is going to give you a different color juice. So that was just pulling that red coloring off of the skins. Okay, I'm going to bring this to a boil. Meantime, we've got our jars in the pot, and I'm going to get everything set up for the canning. Okay, we're back. Our mixture is coming to a boil. And what I'm doing now is the foam that has come up on it. It's like this white stuff. I'm taking that out. Now we've got a really nice boil that's in here. Okay, put this to the side. All right, over here we have our hot jars. So we're going to take those off. Turn the fire off of the jelly now, because it is jelly. Alright. First jar that I want to do up, I want to do my vermi jar. I've got a couple of pint jars in here. I've got hot water in that we're going to steal to put on our rings. Part of these I'm going to can with the Tatler lids, and part of these I'm going to can with the regular one-time lids. So we're going to start with a, trying to decide, I think a Tatler lid maybe. Get me a ladle. Closer so I don't feed the stove any more than I have to. All right. Alright, so we've got a hot jar. We're going to pull out a hot ring. Two of them are stuck together here. Ouch. So we put that in. We've wiped our jar lid with the vinegar water. Hot ring with a hot lid. Finger tight. Carry it over in the towel. Put it in the boiling water. let's do one now with the Tatler. Okay. We're going to fill our jar with about a 1/2 inch headspace. Take our cloth, make sure, because this is sticky stuff, we want to make sure that we don't have anything on there. Okay. Got the red part. It's been in this hot boiling water softening. Okay, we got the top part of the Tatler lid. We're going to insert the red into the groove around the edge. Put that on. We're going to get our hot ring. Okay, you finger tight it, turn it back 1/4 inch. So you finger tight it and then you turn it to the right back 1/4 inch. Okay, let's do one more with the Tatler lid. Stir that up, keep it from sticking or anything on the bottom. Okay. So, need the top part, and I need a rubber that's been softened in the hot water. I put it in the groove, lay it on the jar, get me a hot ring, put my finger on the top here, finger tight it down, and then back it off 1/4 turn. 1/4 inch. Okay. I'm going to finish filling these jars, and according to the ball book, they're saying 1/4 inch headspace. I've always used a 1/2 inch headspace. And we are going to let them process for 10 minutes because they're 1/2 pints. 10 minutes. That's why having one of these books is so important, because, you know, our memory fails us sometimes. Alright. Off to the races again. Okay. Just to let you know that from those 2 bags of apples, those little bags of apples that we were discussing yesterday in our apple canning video, I got 7 pints of apples out of that. And then today we took the peels and the cores and we have made apple jelly, and from that I got 5 1/2 pints and 1 pint. Okay. To make all that, we had the 2, you're talking about the grocery bags like you get at the grocery store or Walmart, the little plastic bags. We had the 2 bags of apples. I used a total of 7 cups of sugar and 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. We had the cost of our lids. I already owned the jars, and so I would say that each and every one of these things probably cost me about 15 to 20 cents a jar. That's not bad for just a little bit of time. Alright, I hope you all have enjoyed this. Happy canning. God bless America. Pray for our country. It's Vivian Ann on the side of the mountain.